Good morning, friends, and welcome to Take Two for this Monday, the 22nd of October, 2018. I'm out and about today doing a boatload of errands as I'm getting ready to host a group of people in my home. So it's a crazy morning, but I really, truly did want to make sure that I was with you on time this morning to share what was on my heart. Now, today's Take Two, by the way, I am Jeanne, and today's Take Two is entitled, It's Not What I Expected. I'm going to share a couple of little stories with you briefly, and the first one is about a friend of mine who lived in the Midwest, like a 30-something, maybe late 20-something, and she was about 30 years old, and she and her husband had two children. They were like 6 and 3, I think they were, and they lived in the Midwest, and I met them when I was visiting a friend of mine in Kansas, and I had a chance to talk with them, and they had never been anywhere or done anything ever. Even when this young couple got married, they had their honeymoon for 2 days just locally because her husband at the time had been in the military, so they didn't get a chance to really go anywhere. So they had never been anywhere at all. And now that he was out of the military, he had a really, really good civilian job, and he had just started a job. A year had passed, and they were getting ready to go on their first vacation. From the day he got employed and knew he would have a 2-week vacation, she started planning a trip to Disney World. Now, she was so excited. Never been on an airplane, never been anywhere or done anything at all. And she and her husband and their 2 children were going to have this fantasy vacation in Disney World. Well, she planned and planned and planned and planned and planned and planned and planned. Every minute of every day, she was obsessed with this vacation. They were going to get the meal packages, and they were going to do the resorts, and she would constantly be going on the internet and looking at different things and different rides and different events that were going on, special, this, that, and the other. She was so excited. Well, she had booked it for the summertime. Mistake number 1. And when she got there, it wasn't, we weren't in Kansas anymore. They got there, it was record-breaking heat. It was brutal. The kids were cranky. There were long lines to everything. They had misbudgeted. In her mind, she's thinking, oh, how much could it cost to have a couple of burgers for lunch with 2 little kids? She's thinking, value meals at McDonald's. No, not there. So they ended up going close to $3,000 over budget, maxed out all their credit cards. She came back absolutely distraught. And I remember her saying to my friend who lives in Kansas, and my friend was telling me about it, I said, did they get back from their trip? She said, oh, yeah. And I said, well, how was it? Did they have fun? And she said, well, the first words out of her mouth was, it's not what I expected. A lot of times in this life, we get so excited about things and get so prepared for things. The old saying, the anticipation is often greater than the event, is what ends up happening. And this is not at all what she expected. In her mind, it was going to be like one of those advertisements on television where everybody's happy and everybody's smiling and everything. They had one faux pas after another, one thing after another. Now, was it nice for them to be together as a family? Of course it was. Did the kids enjoy seeing the Disney characters and all? Oh, yes, it was. But it was all that preparation, and in her mind, she expected something completely different. Speaking of Disney, I have another good friend who, she would go regularly to Disney, and she even lived in Florida for a while, and while she was in Florida, she and a family member used to go regularly to Disney, and they always had a good time together and all that. Well, in recent days, that family member has passed away, so she decided that she would still take the planned vacation she had for 2018 with or without this other family member. And so she ended up going and taking a friend instead. And she said that it was so different when she got back. She said it was so different because if I was with so-and-so, the family member, she said we would have done this, we would have eaten here, we would have done that. We had our regular little routine. But this other person was kind of limited in what she could do. So as a result of that, it made it very, very different. And she too said, it's just not what I expected. is sometimes we expect things in life, and we expect things to just go the way we imagine it in our mind, and we imagine what we're used to, but it has a completely different effect. So I'm going to encourage you, boys and girls, a couple of things. First of all, make sure that you have balance in your life when it comes to being excited or having anticipation about anything, whether it be a vacation or some special event coming up. You know, Evangelist Joyce Meyer says, a great teacher she is, and she said you should be just as excited every morning when you get up about going to the grocery store or running errands. You should be just as excited about that as you are about planning your next vacation. Because the truth be known, every day should be an adventure. Every day should be something we look forward to. And even if it's a big amount of chores, like today, I have a list as long as your arm of all the things that I need to do, including things like mopping my floors and cleaning up and doing things, changing sheets. That's not an exciting thing to do, but I should be just as happy that I am able-bodied and that I can do those things than I am about planning my next cruise with my husband, if you understand what I'm saying. So be a blessing to somebody today, boys and girls. Go be a blessing. You might end up being the only one who is. And let me say this, if they are going through something right now where they're just looking for it, once I get over this hump, everything's going to be fine, and not thinking that there's might be more challenges ahead, and just because you get over one hump doesn't mean that you necessarily are going to suddenly everything's going to be smooth sailing. So go be a blessing to them. As I said, you might be the only one who is, and you might be able to get them through a rough time. And then please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Jeanne Sigler, JeanneSigler. Click that subscribe button. And listen, if you just want to relax and chillax today, hey, put on WRMZ.org, click the listen button, and you will enjoy that. And you know, if you have one of those Alexas, you can say, hey, Alexa, take me to WRMZ.org, and it'll take you right to our station, and you will enjoy that. Okay, everybody, have a great week. I know I have a busy week ahead of me, and you know what? I'm just as excited about having company come and stay with me as I am about everything else that I have to do in this day. So be blessed. I love you all very much, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye.